The victory celebrations of Tiger Woods were once a familiar, almost routine sight. Between 1997 and 2008, the American collected 14 major titles, playing some of the greatest shots ever seen.
Oh, it's in! It's in!
But in recent years, we've become used to seeing Tiger play shots more like this one from a sponsors' day last year.
That's in the water. Like that one? Can I have another one?
So, how will Tiger fare in his first competitive event for almost 10 months?
I don't think we've any right to expect anything. What we should be happy about is that he's back and he's fit. Tiger won't see it that way. He'll want to go out there and come straight out of the blocks and shoot 4 rounds in the 60s. That's unlikely to happen. He's chosen the right tournament to come back. There's no cut there, it's a limited field of 18, so he's done the right things. But first and foremost, I think we've got to see that he plays a season with no further problems.
That's one of the things that's so difficult for him. He can't come back and feel his way back in. They're expecting him to hit the ground running, and that's so difficult to do after the sort of layoff that he's had. He wouldn't be coming back unless he thinks he can be competitive, because he's that sort of animal. So I'd expect him to come back and hopefully, have a golf swing that he's able to get it around the golf course with in a conservative manner, because he's not going to be able to hit the ball as hard as he used to hit it. He's going to have to learn to play in a different kind of way. The last time I spoke with him, he was talking about seeing Steve Stricker play and seeing how Steve Stricker can hit the ball 270 yards off the tee and still compete, and he's having to learn a little bit of that way of playing the game, because he's not going to be able to overpower courses.
I don't believe it.
I think we got to the stage when we expected everything of Tiger. We expected 100% every time he went out there. We expected him to win every major he teed up in. And now we've had this health blip and the other disappointments he's had in his life. If he's not competitive, I think we'll find that the comeback won't last long. But as I say, patience is his key. If he can get through that first year with no injuries, then the next step should be to compete. Known Tiger, he'll want it immediately.
Tiger's last competitive appearance back in February was an unhappy one. Amid great fanfare, he returned to Dubai to play in an event he'd won twice previously. But playing some very un-Tiger-like shots, he posted a 5 over par 77, and after 18 laboured holes, withdrew from the tournament. So will Tiger ever be free of injury and be competitive again?
I'm never, ever going to say anything against him. I've seen him at his best, so I'm definitely not going to say that's impossible. Injuries are no fun. I've had my dues with injuries, and hopefully he's over that and he can just focus on his golf.
Got a chance. Oh, my word! How did he keep doing it?
He's going to be back. He's going to be ready to go. He's really close, and it's hard when you take off that much time. You're going to make bogeys. You're going to make some errors that you normally wouldn't make, because tournament golf, there's situations that you have to do different things, and so he'll get that back. That was a little rusty, but we can't wait for him to come back, and he could have a pretty good year this year.
Tiger's revised swing is aimed at avoiding future injuries, but can a player used to attacking the golf course learn to protect his body?
Certainly you can put less strain on your body. You can look at the parts of your body that are causing the problem and say, okay, well, my lower spine is a problem. I shouldn't therefore get my lower spine into certain positions, and try and adapt your technique in that way. And he'll be doing that with his coach, Chris Como, and trying to work out a way where they can swing pain-free. It does limit him. It does mean that he can't hit certain shots, can't hit the ball as hard as he'd like to hit it. But can Tiger Woods play with a different golf swing? Absolutely, definitely. He's the greatest player, arguably, that we've ever seen, certainly from tee to green. Not necessarily the greatest champion. Jack Nicklaus would hold that mantle for me, but in terms of the golf that he can play, he's such a great competitor that you wouldn't put anything past him. I would never say never with Tiger, but he's really up against it, having to play against these young guys now who are fearless, hit the ball as far as they do, and he's got to come out with a modified golf game and try and compete with them. So it's going to be a difficult task, but I wouldn't say never with him ever.
When he was winning, and we go back to 2013, I think it was, when he won 5 events in 1 year there. That's now coming up for 5 years ago. The game's changed dramatically in these 5 years. Tiger's performance, I felt, stopped a lot of very good players developing quicker than they did, simply because he was so far ahead of the rest. 30 points in the world ranking, second was 10, who was Mickelson at that time, who can also play a bit. So I think he slowed the development down of players simply because he was that good. When he returns now, the game's in a different place. At the end of the PGA Tour last year, there was something like 20 wins from 25 and under. That never happened when Woods was at his prime. He'll be well aware of that because he's had the time to sit back and have a look and see how the game's progressed. So it will always be interesting when Tiger returns. I just hope and pray this time he returns for good.
Tiger's performance this week won't necessarily decide his future in the game, but it will provide further evidence as to whether his best days are behind him.